What's up, real world climbers? I'm really excited for this one. Today we're going to be checking out the Tension Board 2. So if you've watched a bunch of my previous videos, you obviously know that I really like the MoonBoard. And recently I just posted a video on my first experience on the Kilter board, which is another system board. Hopefully you like that video. If you haven't already checked that one out, I'll leave a link in the description below. But in this video, we're going to be looking at the Tension Board 2. Tension has their version 1, which is all wood holds, it's mirror, it's been around for a while. I've tried the Tension Board 1 a few times. It's not my favorite. What I do like about Tension Board 1 is I like the ability to mirror the problems and to work on things both directions. However, some of the hold shapes are not really my favorite. They don't seem too ergonomic, and so I wasn't a huge fan of that. However, with Tension Board 2, I really do feel like they've fixed that. So Tension Board 2 has both plastic and wood holds mixed in. The shapes are really nice. So there's a local climbing gym that actually has the setup that I was interested in. And so we're gonna head there, and then I'll do my thoughts and recap at the end. So today we're checking out the Tension Board 2. I'm pretty excited about checking this one out. This is the 8-foot wide, 12-foot high version. This is the version that I think personally would be the best for a home wall. It's also the mirror layout. So there is a spray wall layout, and then there's the mirrored layout. And I personally really like the concept of having the ability to do a problem on one side and then work it on the other side, just in case you have imbalances or weaknesses. So it's got the app and everything, and swipe it and bring the lights for me. I'm going to do an easy one. There's also a little symbol right here that says no matching. So certain problems you're not allowed to match. And then I believe the C means it's a classic. So that'd be like the equivalent of a benchmark on MoonBoards. And then up here, we also have the ability to flip it. Same problem, just the other side. pretty tough because no matching is allowed. So we kind of figure that one out. And also, I'm not really used to the holds. Like on MoonBoard, I kind of have them memorized, and so I may have seen even on some of those easier climbs, I found that I missed the holds. I didn't see them until it was too late. You can see the LED on that one. So we're going to refine how I'm sorting this a little bit. It's got a lot of different choices. I'm going to do plastics only. Might as well do the ones that I think are the best. Off routes. So routes is something that might be interesting. You can do loops, change the difficulties to it. So minimum difficulty. Pretty warmed up. So I'm gonna say minimum difficulty. Let's do 5s. Maximum difficulty. We'll do through 7s for now. Tension board and MoonBoard is the MoonBoard requires sit down starts. Every problem has a sit start. This one you can start anywhere and really finish anywhere too. So MoonBoard also has you finish on the top row always. On this one you can finish anywhere. I will say I'm a big fan of plastic hold, and I like that the tension board too has a combination of plastic and wood. Even the wood on these feels better than the wood on the MoonBoard, in my personal opinion. I think they use more of like a all the way through hardwood instead of on the MoonBoard holds are laminated like plywood, basically CNC plywood. I don't really care for the texture of the grain edge of the plywood on the MoonBoard wood holds. These get a little bit slipperier, I'm sure, but like some light sandpaper might just get them off. And then also the point of the tension board is in the name. It's meant to keep body tension and things like that. And using wood holds means you have to like hold them better, hold them harder because of they're not going to have as much texture. I think it's so cool to go flipping. So now it will be a big move. I'll flip her left here. More desperate. I did about an hour or so of rolling in general on the game before starting this. So I'm more than warmed up. I'm probably coming to the tail end of session, to be honest. But I was really psyched to try this board. The other thing that the tension board has going for it that's different than MoonBoard is it has dedicated footholds. So the purple colored LEDs are for feet only. Greens are starts, blues are the middle holds, and then the reds are finishes. feel like I am doing them different, slightly different every once in a while when they're mirrored. On that last one, the first variation, definitely used a lot of tension because the calf cramped up. And then it felt like the other side was way easier, partly probably because I did better technique. One other major difference is that there aren't really that many like big open hand slopers on the MoonBoard. The 2017 set has some kind of ball slopers, but they're not as big as those ones. There aren't a ton of slopers on this. I think there are some more on the outer edges if you do the 12 by 12 variation. And another interesting thing that I'm noticing is this hold up here. That one has like a built-in like blocker inside of it. Pretty interesting. That finish one looks like a jug. It has a little bit of an inlet, but it is still pretty slopey. Getting pretty tired, and it's getting a lot busier in the gym, but I haven't quite built up my confidence of recording in front of a bunch of other people. Maybe that'll come with more subscribers. Let's hop forward in time to the headquarters and I'll give my recap. That was a pretty awesome session. I will admit that was my second session on the tension board too. And as you heard in the video, I did actually have like a full hour plus of like regular bouldering, and so I was a little bit tired, but overall I really liked it. The tension board 2 at that gym was set up on an adjustable angle. However, I just kind of left it at the 40 degrees. That 40 degrees makes it pretty comparable to the MoonBoard, so I was able to do some comparisons. But obviously there is a lot of merit to being able to change the angle, so I think it would be really interesting to try tension board 2 problems at like 30 degrees or 25 degrees or 20 degrees in order to kind of make the problems more difficult. My guess is that the holds get smaller, the moves get bigger, and you probably end up using quite a few different of the holds that are on the setup. As I've said a tons of times, I'm a really big fan of the ability to have the mirrored or symmetrical option, and so you can try things on one side and then immediately try them on the other side, discover if you have any imbalances, if you have any areas you need to work on. I did also notice that the second attempt doesn't really matter which side of the board it was on. The second attempt, usually it was better, and that actually kind of surprised me because originally I was thinking that there might be more of a disconnect on one side or the other, or imbalances, or even like a disconnect kind of from the mind to the body to be able to do some of the moves that favored one side or the other. However, it didn't end up really being that way. It was more of a technique or a thing like that. And so it was actually kind of encouraging that the second one was better. That means I kind of figured out the technique. To reiterate a few things that I said while I was there, and that is I really do like the wood holds better than some other wood holds that I've tried. I like them better than the tension board 1, the shapes. And I like that it's like a smoother hardwood rather than the laminated plywood that the wood holds on the MoonBoard uses. So the texture was good. I did end up having to squeeze harder or be more deliberate about them. The crimps were really nice. They were small, but they were really nice on my fingers. And the plastics, I really like the plastics too. I know not everybody's a fan of plastic holds, but I really liked them. I like that the shapes could be more unique with plastic. I like that there was bigger slopers. So the shapes and the orientation I really, really liked. So I didn't go into this a ton while I was there, but there is a profile where I can earn badges, it looks like, and I can check my logbook and see all the things that I've done. And you kind of see that I did the reverse check marks here and the regular check marks on basically all those problems. So I'm going to come down here to the plus sign and I'm going to choose some options. And these are the options that you get with the tension board 2. So I can do the original layout, which is tension 1. I can do the tension board 2 mirror and a tension board 2 spray wall. So here's the mirror option. And then when I choose mirror option, I have all these other different options here. So this is what I think is interesting about tension board 2 is that you have a lot more choices or options. You can choose a 10-foot high by 8-foot wide wall. So if you have a smaller space, they have a setup for that. And then what hold sets did you buy? So did you buy the wood? Did you buy the plastic? So let's say you did both, you check both of them, hit next, and then you do your thing. So that would be the 10-foot high wall on the mirror setup. So then I have the other choices. So personally, I think that the 12-foot high by 8-foot wide wall would be great for a home wall. And so if I were to do this, that's what I would do. But also there's a 10-foot high by 12-foot wide, which gets you the outside holds. And then their biggest is the 12 by 12. So I'll show you what everything is if you have all of them. So obviously you can see like it goes much wider and the holds really ended right about here. When we were at the other wall, that's where the 8-foot wide wall ends. And so all this stuff over here to the right, and then obviously the mirror over on the left, is all part of that 12 by 12, which would be phenomenal if you have the space for it in a home wall, but I just don't know that that's always the case. Looks like there's a few more slopers and things like that that are on the outer edges, and so it gives you a little bit more variety. So just like my previous video when I was talking about the kilter board compared to the MoonBoard, a little bit about comparing the tension board 2 to the MoonBoard. I still think that they're two different things and they train different things. So the tension board I think is more systematic. I see it as more of like a training device where you're being very systematic on deciding I'm going to try things on both sides. For the mirror, obviously there is a spray wall option that I have not yet tried, and that probably brings a little bit difference to it as well. And I feel like the style of climbing is different too. It's in the name, tension. I feel like there's a lot more use of the feet and you have to really keep and drive your feet down and keep that tension on the tension board versus on the MoonBoard where it's kind of more straight on and technical, powerful, smaller holds. And again, I'll compare the cost a little bit. The cost of doing a full set of the tension board holds plus their LED system is going to be quite a bit more than the MoonBoard sets. So you have to take that into consideration. And also the thought process of the incremental adjustable angle, that is going to be a key. I think that is very, very important in a tension board to get the full use. Comparing tension to kilter, I don't personally think that having the adjustable angle is as important with tension as it was with the kilter board. And here's why. I did the tension board at 40 degrees. Yes, it did feel similar to the MoonBoard at 40 degrees, but with those obvious differences that I talked about earlier. And I feel like I could stick with a 40-degree angle on the tension board 2 over and over and over again and be okay. And there'd still be enough training value in that symmetrical basis. So that's my take on tension board 2. I hope you liked it. I hope you got some good information out of it. Make sure to check out a bunch of my MoonBoard content and obviously check out that video on the kilter board. And if you're liking this content, make sure you tell YouTube that you do like it by giving it a thumbs up. And make sure you click the chains on the subscribe button. See you really, really soon.